I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Tuesday. Good afternoon and welcome. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you by our friends at the Happy State Bank, alongside Jeff McGuire. In for Chris Sneed today, I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott back behind the glass handling us. Y'all hit us up. If you got thoughts, comments, questions, bring them all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app and at 100.7 The Score, or no point there, but 107thescore.com. Also, DoubleTSportsNetwork.com. We're watchable on television, Fox 34 News Now, as well as our YouTube channel. Check out the Double T Sports Network page there. And you could take us anywhere with you via the mobile app, even listening out in Strawberry Point, Iowa. What's up, Jeffrey?
How are you, Choice? How goes your day?
It's decent. It's dreary outside, which normally I'm all for in West Texas, but it's been dreary a lot lately. So,
the last couple of days. I will say that it is definitely drier than it was when I came to work this morning. I got to work right about the worst time this morning, like windshield wipers on full blast, trying to be able to keep seeing as I was driving on my way in. And
I'd say you get to work at the worst time every day, though. I mean,
sure, but
5 a.m. is not a great time to go to work.
5 a.m. and downpour is significantly worse. Plus, Clint can attest to this because he lives around the corner from me. So could Bro if he was around here as well. The way to work had to change because the main road that we all probably take, I know I take it every morning, was definitely going to be underwater this morning. So it was turn right on the 34th Street as opposed to left on my way in because I would have needed a boat to get that far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some sections on 34th Street that, when it rains like it did last night, are not passable by wheeled vehicles that aren't like 5 feet up in the air.
Sure.
But we made it to work. Everyone is safe and sound, and we are here now.
We are here now, and we are here with you for the next 3 hours or so. Y'all can chime in your thoughts, your comments, your questions. We'll talk some Tech baseball as the Red Raiders have a scheduled game tonight. Doesn't look like the weather will interfere as of now, so it might be dreary out there for that one, but still anticipating we'll get that one in on time at 6 o'clock tonight. We will talk about the Rangers a little bit as they've made some roster moves and start up a new series today. More off-season talk for Tech basketball, football. I want to get into an article that Rob penned, and we'll get to some of that stuff later in the program. And Big 12 predictions for each team by one publication out there. So we'll dive into that at some point over the next 3 hours or so. What is the majority of your sports watching at this time of year?
Well, I would say Texas Rangers baseball, but not all of those games are on TV, which is a lot. I mean, I know they're streamed, and you can do the streaming service, but I'm talking like being able to turn the TV on and just leave it is a lot frustrating. They should really work on that.
Well, they did. It's much better than
it was
last year because now
they're available.
I can pay $100 and have access for the whole season when I couldn't do that last year without completely changing service providers.
Exactly. Yeah. And I will take this year over last year 10 times out of 10.
It's heading in the right direction.
It just needs to keep moving is where I would put that remark. I am not specifically watching the Stars play hockey. Not because I am not rooting for the Stars, but because I do not want to jinx them. They have been doing fine without me watching this year. And as excited as I am for the Dallas Stars,
Yeah.
I do not want to be the reason that they do not win the Stanley Cup.
Why don't you test it out in this?
No.
Next round.
Just really interested after
Well,
the
it's
after
not
the
like
fact.
they swept through
Doesn't matter.
Colorado last time.
If I would have watched Game 7, they would have lost, and then I would be to blame.
That's what I'm saying. Test it out in Game 1. They're on the road at Winnipeg, so there's already a kind of an expectation that they're the underdog going into that game.
So you think I could be the good luck charm?
Well, I'm saying if you're going to test it, this is the game to do it tomorrow night. If you're going to test and see if you're the bad luck, test it out in a game where you're already the underdog.
Look, I tell you what, we'll do it this way, because here's the people I don't want to upset are the actual Stars fans that live and die with this fringe. Because the ones that live and die every single game. I enjoy Stars
You're not
hockey.
going to call me a actual Stars fan that lives and dies with every single game?
I'm not. If they give me permission to watch Game 1, and that it will be not my fault if they lose.
How many games do I have had to watch this year to be in that category for you?
More than 10?
Okay, I'm
You're
in
more
that.
than 10?
Yeah, more than 10.
Before the playoffs.
In that range, yeah.
In that range.
10 to
Okay.
12. 10 to 12 is probably what I watched in the regular season. It's replaced basically any sort of NBA watching during the regular season that I used to do. So.
Okay. I am extremely excited as they are playing I feel like jumping in on playoff hockey is kind of like going to church on just Christmas and Easter. You got to put in a little work before you get to those two. In my mind, you got to go more than just.
I think it's all right.
Those 2 days.
I'd say it's better to go those 2 days than not at all, and it's better to watch playoff hockey than not watch any at all. So
this off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Dallas is projected to win the first game in Winnipeg. Tested out in the first game. Chois confirmed. Jets fan. Shake my head. See, these are the people I don't want to upset.
They're on the road in Winnipeg. I mean, I guess they are. They are favored.
See, I will not watch them.
I wouldn't have guessed that. Sorry. I had not looked at a line for this. I just assumed that if you're on the road in a second-round playoff game that you're going to be the underdog, but apparently not. I guess Dallas is just the way they're playing lately has gotten them the edge.
Actively watching White Sox games on Twitter? Not like actual game footage, but all the updates from Whites, specifically when Davis is pitching and seeing how he's doing, and that's been fun to keep track of. And then we got the added bonus last night with Freeman getting called up, so he got to pitch the 8th inning, and that was not a great inning, but not a terrible one either.
They gave up a run.
Lots of ones in his line, but it didn't give up a home run. So not too shabby for a major league debut, and got his first strikeout. So that was fun to follow along on Twitter. But that's kind of how sports rolls this time of year.
Yeah, we're
listening to a bunch on the radio.
We're so used to being, entrenched in Texas Tech baseball and expecting good things, big things at this time of year. Last year was, some frustrating times around this time. This year, even more frustrating because you've got a sub-500 record. So I think it does kind of leave a void there for a lot of Texas Tech fans where you jump into thinking ahead to football earlier than expected.
I've got Rangers baseball for sure.
I know. I'm talking about from a Texas Tech perspective. If you're just looking at that, I'm Rangers. I'm hockey right now. There's still plenty of sports that are occupying the mind and watching for me. Y'all tell us what you think. We'll get into a lot of different topics today. And if you've got something you want to get into, you can pump that in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Headlines for you next. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
From Dropkick Murphys to Augustana. Stuff you'll only get with the bottom line.
That's a very good pull there, sir. Well done.
Well, he's the
well, no, you're the one that called. Like, he's got it there.
Yeah.
Like, but you pulled it. Like, without looking.
I can name a lot of music from high school age. So,
Okay.
like most people can. Like
Sure.
bands that you heard in high school. Now, I doubt I could name another song of theirs, but that was a popular one. Boston. So many Boston songs we can get in today. Jeff McGuire to my right. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way.
There's a whole band.
Oh, yeah. Really
There
good
can be a
bands,
lot.
too.
Yeah.
Are they still touring? I like classic rock. My most recent concert was Three Dog Night and Little River Band.
Oh, wow.
Right over there down the street. Saw Chuck Hines there, of course.
Aha. Yes.
So,
This was a concert. He was jealous of your seat.
did he talk about?
Yes. Talked about that you were sitting in front of him. Like a few rows in front of him.
We had pretty good seats.
And he was definitely brought it up and was definitely jealous.
On air?
He will say that he was not jealous. However, he made it a point to mention that you had closer seats than he did.
We did have good seats. Yeah, enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm a I like all sorts of music. But classic rock is in there.
He even likes
That
Metalachi.
guy's a rapper, right? Okay, maybe not as much in on the rap game. Let's do this.
Okay.
It's time for a pop quiz.
Oh, God.
You need one of these today. We're talking about Big 12.
Quiz, hot shot.
Okay.
There's two reasons I'm bringing this up, because we were talking about Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark. So let's look at the league as a whole. Jeff, how many teams are there in the Big 12?
16.
Okay, that's not part of the quiz.
Damn it. In fairness to Choice, I did have to count them out on my head today for an article I was writing for the website.
So I'm going to ask you to name, I will give you the school, and you're going to name the most recent sport that the school won a national championship in.
National championship.
Okay,
then.
and this is fairly difficult. So I'd say if you get half, no, 8.
I held up 3.
You went 3, 8.
If I get 3, I'll be shocked.
I think you should, just the most recent sport that each team won a national
Sure,
championship
yeah, no.
in. Hey, and I'm going to give you one because,
You're going to say Texas Tech, and I'll say track and field.
or I'm going to give you,
Thank you.
I'm going to give you one hint. 2 of the teams have never won in any sport.
Okay.
Okay. There's also a
Kansas
team.
men's basketball?
There's also a
That would
team
be
that
my
won
next guess.
that won a national championship this morning from the Big 12.
This morning.
I think it was this morning. Maybe it was last night. Either way, very recently.
Oh, boy.
So there's your hints. All right, let's start off with Texas Tech.
Track and field.
All right, see, you're doing
One.
great.
Aha!
You're doing great. Let's go. I'm gonna scatter shoot here. Kansas.
Men's basketball.
See,
2.
you're doing
Remember when I said 3? I'm running out of names schools here.
You're doing too well here. Let's go to Colorado. And these are only NCAA sanctioned sports, by the way.
So we're not going.
So no
Complete-
meat judging and that sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Colorado National Championship in wrestling. Ha! There's my loss.
That would be skiing.
Skiing.
In
Okay.
2024, Colorado won the skiing national
That
I
makes
was going
sense.
to make a joke of mountain climbing. I didn't actually think skiing would
Skiing
be
would.
an option.
You know what? I'll even give you the year. How about that?
That's not going to help.
on stuff. TCU 2025.
Equestrian? No. Oh, phone a friend. I'm being told to phone a friend, so I'll phone my friend. Clint?
Go for it.
That would be sand volleyball.
That's
Technically beach volleyball, but
that's
yes.
accredited now. Like that's an official NCAA.
It is,
Okay.
and
It
TCU.
is, but it's usually USC and UCLA playing each other.
But
in the
isn't TCU's first year playing this year? It's either their first or second year,
I don't know.
and they won a
Okay.
national championship.
I'd believe it.
Yeah, the Big 12 just adopted beach volleyball for a conference this year,
Probably because
And-
of
and
Arizona,
with
Arizona
lacrosse.
State.
Arizona State,
And lacrosse came in because of Cincinnati and UCF, right?
I don't remember. I think TCU plays lacrosse. Florida just won the Big 12 lacrosse championship
No shot at that one. None.
Okay, so you got 2 out of 4 so far.
Yeah.
Oh, no, 3. 3, because you got that one from Clint. By the way, their prior one to today was 2024. They won in men's tennis. TCU did.
Oh, okay.
National title. All right, let's go to Baylor in 2021.
Men's basketball.
That is correct. You've already surpassed your 3.
That's the last one I thought I was going to get.
You've surpassed your 3. You're at 4. How about Iowa State in 1994?
That I'll say wrestling. That feels like a good thing for them.
Not
wrestling?
men's cross country.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
What about Kansas State?
Kansas State. Okay, not football, not basketball, not baseball. Wouldn't be softball. Cross country as well? No.
Kansas State is one of the 2 that have never won it.
Oh, never
I
won.
was trying to help
Okay.
you.
I was
trying to
specifically
help
not
you.
looking at you, trying to do this on my own.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my favorite Twitter retort of anything that ever gets thrown out from Kansas State.
That
Go win a
checks out.
national championship.
In something.
Yeah.
All right. How about Utah in 2025?
They won one this year.
This year.
Like this calendar year.
Yes.
No earthly idea.
Throw something out there.
Underwater basket weaving.
Should have just gone with skiing. They also won a skiing national championship.
How many Big 12 schools ski?
Probably those 2, Colorado and Utah, and BYU. Those are probably the ones.
Wow.
There's a lot of great skiing around Utah.
I would just like to point out the chat line didn't have answers either, so I'm not feeling so bad.
Okay, UCF. You've got 4, right? I think.
Oh, yeah, I've already lost, though. I've already had 3 strikes.
No, we're just, forget the strikes. We're going through it.
UCF, I'm going to say they have a rowing championship. Swimming? Diving.
They have a nothing championship.
They have a nothing championship. Okay, well, there we go.
UCF and Kansas State were the 2. All right, Houston.
Men's basketball?
1985. Should have been men's basketball.
Should have been men's basketball. They lost that game. Track and field.
That would have been my guess. Men's golf in 85.
Okay.
Arizona, 2018.
Initial reaction is baseball.
That would have been mine until I heard the year. Yep.
But
Is
they
this
haven't.
a sport we have already said before?
It is halfway. What?
Is it men's beach volleyball?
No.
Man. Does it have anything to do with their weather?
It's an outdoor sport.
It's an outdoor sport.
Yeah.
I got no idea.
So it's going to be golf.
Yeah? Golf? Women's golf?
Women's golf is it.
Okay.
We'll give it to you. Oh.
The
got-
judge
you
said no.
Circled around.
I
Oh,
would
judges
have
said no.
I
Okay,
would have
4.
said no on that one too.
All right, Arizona State in 2024.
Skiing.
Badminton.
No. It would be swimming and diving.
Really? Holy shnikes.
Last year.
They beat like the powerhouse that is Texas.
Men's swimming and diving.
The powerhouse that is Texas.
Yeah. 2023,
Wow.
Oklahoma State.
What year?
23.
23?
This is where they're.
Oh, equestrian.
Oh, that's a good guess for OSU, but no. Cross country.
Okay.
That's the other one that they're known for.
I don't do a lot of long distance running.
BYU 2024,
No, I have no idea.
also men's cross country.
It's cross country. Okay.
And finally, West Virginia in 2025.
This year.
This year.
Tennis?
This is one we have not mentioned.
Tennis is the only thing I'm thinking of, but we've talked about tennis.
Rifle. West Virginia got it.
Rifling, they say.
Yeah, dude does carry one
And
around.
they
Okay.
use muskets.
That would be really impressive.
Wow.
All right.
So, yeah, I suck at that.
You did
but
half good at it. It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
bringing you the truth or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. This is the Bottom Line on hour number 2 on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Alongside Jamie Lint, who joins us in the First United Bank studio. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way, handling us ably. Y'all can hit us up or watch it on television. Fox 34 News Now, YouTube, your Fire Stick, your Roku, Apple TV, whatever you got. Or just carry it with you in your pocket. Yates Flooring Center chat line open through that 100.7 The Score mobile app, which is pretty easy to access, even listening out in Ringo, Kansas.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No question.
Okay. All righty then.
What about Star, Missouri?
I knew you were going to. You think of Ringo Starr when you hear Ringo?
I was thinking of a Beatles joke back here, too.
Okay.
Like Lennon, Kansas.
I thought for sure Clint was going to think of that. I think I'm even thinking his name is wrong. Wasn't the Johnny Depp little lizard movie named Ringo? Or was that Rango?
Rango.
Dang it.
Yeah, what else would I think of when I think of Ringo?
Ringo Starr. That's the number one answer. I don't even know if there is a second answer on the list.
Yeah, I was thinking of that game where you throw a ring around a stick. You know, Ringo.
No.
Is there even another person named Ringo? Or is that Kansas town named after Ringo Starr? Like, surely someone else.
Or I was probably around before Ringo Starr was born. So maybe
sure.
he was named after the Kansas town.
Probably
Don't
not.
know.
I'm going to say
We
no
love
on
the
that.
plains. We're here for rural Kansas.
You can keep going if you want.
If I keep doing that, I'm gonna go into the vultures from what's the Jungle Book? There we go.
Yeah, the Jungle Book.
From the Jungle Book. What do you want to do today?
I don't know, man.
What do you want to do?
What do
today?
you want to do?
Hey, don't start that again.
Jamie, before Clint derails us too much, would you like to talk about Rangers baseball here, or Major League Baseball in general, or Rob Bro?
Oh, man.
It's not all about Rob Bro, by the way. It's
Let's go.
more like an article Rob Bro wrote.
Let's go, Rob Bro.
Okay.
For 100.
Do you have that? Are you going to clip that? The Let's Go Rob Bro for Jamie? Yeah. Or I just said it too.
That would be a fun game show. We could figure out who we knew about each other, and so we played Jeopardy, where it was like questions about each other to see who would know the most.
This
about
absolutely needs to be a summertime activity. This would be pretty fun if seeing who knows the most about each other.
I'll take who eats station smelly snacks for 500.
Okay, so Jamie,
who is Chois Woodman?
And it's the answer for every single number.
that's what my parents still ask. Jamie, Rob penned an article yesterday ranking all 21 of Texas Tech's transfer portal additions from least impactful to most impactful in 2025.
Okay.
Who are your top three? Who do you think will be the three, and we'll see how it matches up with Rob, who are the three most impactful? It doesn't mean the flashiest necessarily, because there's offensive linemen on this list, but who are the three guys that you think will have the largest impact? I don't know if we've asked this question over time, but now we've gone all the way through spring ball, so can revisit it. Who are the three most impactful guys to you going into the 2025 season for Tech football?
I would go, and I'm not going to open up Rob's article until I give you an answer here. I would go David Bailey 1.
Okay.
I would go, goodness, his name is escaping me. Defensive lineman UCF 2.
Lee Hunter. Yep.
Lee Hunter.
Yep.
And I would go... USC running back or wide receiver? Give me the USC running back.
Quentin Joyner.
Quentin Joyner.
Okay. Clint? Do you differ?
Just to be different, because the first two are the same.
You are.
Okay.
Just to be different, I will go Reggie Virgil at the wide receiver spot. Although in my heart of hearts, we had the same exact three, and I don't like that. Not that I
Sorry.
don't like agreeing. I just, for the interesting part of radio.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, same. What he said.
Yeah.
Mine first two were exactly the same as well, and you might want to learn Rob's first two are exactly the same.
Okay, so
He's got David Bailey at 1, Lee Hunter at 2. I also had that. My third one is Cole Wisniewski,
okay.
the safety from North Dakota State.
Can I switch my third, actually?
You're welcome.
To Howard Sampson.
That's who Rob had at third. Now, the reason I didn't include a offensive line in my top 3 is I think I will view the group. Like, we always just look at offensive line as a group.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have 3 or 4 offensive linemen out of the portal that will be quite impactful. I just think we won't look at them as individuals. And I don't know, maybe Howard Sampson
Will be so good that he will stand out.
Right.
And, yeah.
Maybe he's that good and he's All-American level or something like that, or one of those other guys, because you've got some – Howard Sampson's going to stand out because of he's a 6'8", 340-pound guy that he stands out anywhere he goes.
Now that you have told me about this, I'm anxious to see who Rob has as the last ones.
Okay. Well, we can go ahead and tell you that. You got any guesses? Which, by the way, you can find this entire article up at DoubleTSportsNetwork.com.
Am I missing something here? It looks like he has only 20.
Okay, he put 2 in the same spot, which at number 12 he put Will Jados and Hunter Zambrano, whichever one ends up being your right tackle.
Oh, I get
So, but it says 21 at the beginning, and then there's only 20. Come on, Rob.
Come on,
Count.
bro, Cephas.
Find a new slant.
I can't believe he's got...
No, so you've already seen.
No,
that's
I'm
number
looking now. I mean, he's got Wake Forest at number 20.
20. Wake Forest. Come on.
I mean,
Mitch Griffiths, number 20, which is the right answer.
okay.
At least we hope he is the least impactful person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your third-string quarterback. Hopefully, you don't ever have to see him outside of maybe a game against
Unless he's
Arkansas
out
Pine Bluff.
being used as a receiver, and
I thought we had
I don't know what we're
an
talking
elite
about.
quarterback punter combo. Is that not him?
No, that's Barron, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I'm joking, Choice.
Well, I had to think of it. I'm like, did I miss something on Mitch Griffiths?
Yeah.
So he's got Amir Boyd at 19.
Oh, he's got Anthony Holmes way down at 16. I would probably disagree there just because I feel like Holmes has a head start, having already played in the offense, or excuse me, the defense that
Yeah.
he's going to be working in.
I think Romello Height is also one that I think could elevate. He's got him at 15.
Mm-hmm.
I think Height is going to look really good playing across from David Bailey.
Sure.
He may not have been as good at other stops, but he's a big dude with all the measurables, and David Bailey's going to take up some double teams to open up single matchups for him.
Micah Hudson way down at 14. That's interesting as well.
We'll continue this. It's more of your thoughts coming up on the Yates Flooring Center chat line on 100.7 Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging with us, Sunny Tuesday. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lentz, Clint Scott with you. I'll keep the thoughts and comments coming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Let's see. We have a kicker-punter combo, and they will snap the ball to themselves. Okay. That's another Chuck Hines thing, right? kicker punter combo.
Kicker punter combo.
Asking Joey McGuire if we need a kicker punter combo.
He's big on that. I think Coach McGuire mentioned it, that's one of the things that they were open to adding in the portal. And
so someone that could do both as a backup, I assume
as a backup.
Because it feels like you've got your...
I think Chuck is now taking that as that there's a nationwide APB out.
Nationwide? Most of these kickers are coming from Australia.
Okay. Worldwide APB out. He just
got something on my phone called a Scarlet Alert. I have no idea what that is. Woke me up at like 3 a.m.
So he's really wanting this kicker punter combo guy.
Very quick on the trigger there. Pun intended. Johnny Ringo is another Ringo from Tombstone. Do you like that movie?
That would actually make more sense with Kansas.
Yeah, it would if that's where it came from. Kansas is where lazy people quit on the trail out west. It all makes sense now.
They ran into the
mountains. Like we're done.
They ran into the mountains and were like,
let's turn around and go back about 100 miles. It was really flat out there.
Yeah, the land just got tall and pointy, and I'm pretty tired, so I think I'm just going to stop here.
Seems legit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we'll sell it with the lyrics, so give me a home where the buffalo roam.
All right, now let's disagree with Rob Bro, shall we?
Yes.
Let's figure out
when did that ever stop?
Well, we started it at the end of the last segment. Anthony Holmes, you said you disagree with. Romello height, I think, could be higher, but I don't really have a problem with him having height at 15. I think my biggest disagreement with Rob Bro, which this is, I should probably preface this if you just tuned in. We're looking at his article at doubleTSportsNetwork.com of ranking all 21 of Tech's portal additions. So he went through and ranked each of them. My biggest disagreement, Jamie, is at number 11, Reggie Virgil. You said you were considering putting him in your top 3.
I was.
He's got Virgil at 11. I think Virgil will be a top 5 easily most impactful player for you if he's healthy.
He even has Roy Alexander, who you just inked.
Yes.
Ahead of him at 10.
Yep. Alexander played at Incarnate Word. He was really good there, but I think the thought process on Virgil, who comes from Miami of Ohio, is that he will be a true deep threat, which Mac Leftwich liked to use a lot in his offense, where Virgil's the burner for you, and it will complement what you've got with Caleb Douglas and Coy Aiken already. So I think Virgil, I think when he came out of the portal, I don't know, I haven't looked at any rankings lately as far as just wide receivers, but he was the number 1 ranked wide receiver in the portal at one point.
We'll have to ask the Burrow himself. My guess as to why he would have him in front of this is you're looking at a team that has other deep threats, but you don't have a lot of inside route runners, and that seems what Roy Alexander would be plug and play. I don't necessarily agree with it either, but I also see what the math would be there.
And is Alexander also thought of as a return guy as well? And so maybe that would be.
Yeah. So
no, he's a transfer.
This guy.
2 days in a row.
Nice.
Do y'all have any qualms with me putting Wisniewski at in the top 3? Rob has him as 6th overall on his list. I think he's a guy, maybe of the entire portal class, I think he's the most underrated player, the one that's not talked about enough.
And he missed all of last season,
and
correct?
That's a big reason he's probably underrated too, is because he missed all of last season. He was a FCS All-American the year before, looked at as a pretty decent draft pick. I mean, this isn't some small corn-fed white guy out in Podunk, North Dakota. He's a 6'4", big-bodied safety for you too. I mean, and this is one that, if you listen to his coach, he was not happy about losing to the portal, by the way. But he's got experience winning too. And now that matters sometimes
sure.
It doesn't. But I think this is a very heady safety that last year at the safety position, you had a lot of problems with miscommunication and missed assignments, and it turned into giant plays. I think
he's got the potential to be one of the biggest impact players just because of how bad you were in that area a year
sure.
ago.
Yeah, just to be one of your most improved players from position to position next year. Yeah. So I think Wisniewski might be your best defensive back that you got in the portal. Now, Rob has one ahead of him, Bryce Pollock, I believe is how you say it. Pollock from Mississippi State.
Really, not Pollock?
I'm pretty sure.
Where did we land on Lewan?
I didn't land on him.
I'm done. I wouldn't land on him. He's pretty big. Do you think? Are you questioning me? You are questioning me, but
yes, but I have no idea.
Are you questioning me?
I really have no clue. It just.
I think it's fair questioning because I've been wrong once before on Lewan, but. Did I really say that? I think it.
Yes, Lewan Watts.
I'm going to the website.
Bryce Pollock.
Yep, Pollock.
Pollock from the website. Okay, so Bryce Pollock, the transfer from Mississippi State, is who Rob has as his top DB. Do you have any other major disagreements or?
Again, as I said earlier, I would have guessed that that both Height and Holmes would have been higher.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree with you on Holmes.
I don't know what to think about Micah Hudson.
That's an impossible one to predict at this point.
I just don't know what to get.
Because we know the talent is there. I mean that's not questionable there.
Yeah.
It's just what are the plans for him this year? What are his plans? Because Hudson has gone now 2 full springs without going through spring football and college football.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's impactful because there was
question
question
of
how well.
That's completely true. Didn't he get on the field long enough to punch the quarterback in the face at A&M?
I don't think that's considered spring. I think those were voluntary
in the
workouts.
Locker room? Okay,
I think it was on the field. I don't think it was part of the spring ball. That was when they're supposed to be running routes.
I'm really dying to know if that's a true story or not.
I don't know, but it's amazing, even if it's not. Goodness gracious. The Hudson thing it's impactful when you miss a spring. We know that.
Especially when you're a young player. It's one thing if you're 2 years into the program and you've been through it 2 times and then you miss one.
Right.
But at the beginning, absolutely.
So I don't have a clue how if the talent takes over in this offense or if there's more motivation to make sure you're ready to go from day one, playbook-wise and offense and everything. I don't know because maybe he's studying a lot harder or maybe he's just the motivation factors there for Micah Hudson to prove a bunch of people wrong.
I think he's also going into, even though there's some new faces, I think a more known structured room with the receivers. Like last year, it's like, hey, what are you going to get out of Caleb Douglas? What's Coy Aiken this year?
Sure.
Josh Kelly, is he going to deliver? And like this year, it feels like, hey, here's Douglas and Aiken. We know what you're going to get out of them. It feels like Douglas is primed to be wide receiver 1. You love what you're going to hopefully get out of Reggie Virgil, and you're envisioning a Josh Kelly type of year for that guy. So it feels like the room has its direction, I guess, more known right now for Hudson that he's going to have to fight through. And then you have more names coming through like Roy Alexander. So I think the competitive nature hopefully will help him.
I think I'd put Quentin Joyner below Reggie Virgil if I was making this list, though.
Really?
I think you're going to see very much a running back by committee situation here.
That may be true, but I think that Joyner's going to be the lead dog.
I think he'll be the lead dog, but lead dog may be 700 or 800 yards when you're coming off of a year with a guy that ran for 1,500. So I don't know. Could be way wrong on that. Maybe Joyner goes for 1,200 or 1,300 yards. But I think Jacoby Williams, as he did towards the end of the year last year, I think he will force his way onto the field where you just – and you can give guys rest because that's the norm in football. What you did last 2 years with a feature back that It's almost all the carries is not normal in football nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
It's the bottom line on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Happy Tuesday. It's the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app. Chois Woodman and Jamie Lint here in the First United Bank studio. Y'all continue to chime in. You got thoughts, comments, questions, bring those all in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Let's go ahead and hit the question. Poor favor.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
All right, Jamie. There's a lot of publicity going around Gregg Popovich as he stepped down this past weekend. Decided to say he's had some health issues. Decided to say he's done in the NBA. Who are your top 3 professional coaches of all time? Because this is such a subjective thing. And you can just go your lifetime if you want to, because that may be even easier to judge. But I think there's a big question of how much NBA coaches actually impact the game versus other sports. And so who are your top 3 pro coaches of all time?
Okay, I'll just go with my lifetime.
Okay, you can go
Try
lifetime.
not to act like I know something.
Right,
about
because
some guy who was coaching.
because
in
we
the
could put
50s.
Lombardi in there, but we never watched him, and I mean, those things are difficult. So your lifetime.
I definitely would feel like in football, Bill Belichick would be the guy that I'd have to go with.
Okay.
In my lifetime, I probably would go with choice. Other NFL coaches.
It's difficult.
Phil Jackson would be on my list.
I was just about to say we should do a back and forth draft so we don't say the same
Yeah.
3 names.
You could go back and forth.
I would probably take Phil, and there's a lot of people out there that say he had 2 of the top 50 players in the world at the time, but you saw that they didn't win without him, with Doug Collins. So he made a difference.
Like the 1 and 2 were easy for me. I'm having so much trouble coming up with the third one that I feel as strongly about as the other 2.
Who's one?
Who were your 1 and 2?
Well, I switch them. I went Phil Jackson 1, and I went Bill Belichick 2.
Okay.
See, and I don't even know if I put Bill Belichick there. What's hard for me with Belichick is the Brady thing.
Yeah, but couldn't you say the same thing about Phil Jackson?
And you could say the same thing about basically anybody. Gregg Popovich is a great example of that as well. Because anytime he's not had talent, they were not very good. But he's had a lot of years in his career where they had a bunch of talent on his roster. So that's the hard thing of this judgment to me. That's the hard thing about this question is that no coach on this list just, scratched together a bunch of scrubs and did it with nobodies. Almost every coach that is in this elite tier had elite players on their roster.
Yeah, not a lot of teams winning championships that didn't have that. I have an elite player or 2.
because I wanted to put Andy Reid in this, but then it's the same argument as Bill Belichick.
I think it's a good answer, though.
Reid has won, but Reid seems to have won consistently wherever he's been. Now, championships only won with elite players or an elite quarterback.
But it's not like he wasn't like sniffing those. It's not like he was just getting pelted in Philadelphia. With like the first part of his career.
Yeah, I mean they were. Speaking of Philadelphia, where's Sirianni on your list, Choice?
In a gutter. Still alive, but drunk in a gutter. My lifetime, Jamie. I'm actually putting each of your guys. I'm going Andy Reid and Joe Torre.
I was gonna say Torre would be my baseball guy.
Torre's because we've seen, yes, you can buy teams, but you can still not win when you buy teams. How long were we? 2009, the last Yankees championship? Is that correct? No.
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So there's been plenty of talented teams in New York that haven't won.
In other cities, too, Choice.
Well, I just want to – I'm using New York, for example, because of Joe Torre. And winning – dynasty coaches are different. Winning in a group of years like Torre did, like Andy Reid has, like Phil Jackson, like so many of these guys we've mentioned, it's just you're looked at in a different level to me. And that's why I would put Torre there. I also would even consider the guy that resides in Arlington. I don't think he's top 3-5, but he's up there.
Not too far away from
Bruce Bochy has 4 championships to his name, and 3 of those in 5 years.
Another one that I was going back and forth with was Pat Riley, but I feel like it's cheating because like the bulk of his championship runs, not that he didn't have any in my lifetime, were all before I was born or where I don't actually remember them.
Yeah, I think that one's hard. So,
but to be fair, I said that with Phil Jackson, and Phil Jackson.
So what did you settle in your 3?
I would say Torre is my third. So my 3 are Belichick, Jackson, and Torre.
Okay.
Which seems kind of cheesy since I picked 2 of guys that coached my teams.
I don't think it's cheesy. You've rooted for some good teams. What were your 3, Clint?
I'm such a bandwagon fan.
I'll switch out Torre for Reid.
I think Reid's a good one. I think he deserves to be.
It's not like you're just going full homer there because I have mine. I'm putting Reid ahead of Belichick because Belichick has a lot more losses in his years where he didn't have his superstar. Andy Reid has pretty well been a winner all the time. His overall career record is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The championships didn't come until he has the superstar. But I put Reid there. I
feel like he's been losing the battle of the bulge, though, for a lot of years.
Is that a weight joke?
Is that a weight joke?
What else could it be?
I didn't know what. I was trying to actually go to the battle of the bulge and thinking.
Using that word way too much. For Andy Reid,
I'm a little scared to Google it on the work internet too.
I just meant that he had a big belly. That's all I meant, Choice.
I also think it's important, like for Reid's legacy, he helped turn around the Chiefs, who were desperate for a good head coach before Mahomes got there, and I think got the best out of Alex Smith in his career too.
Yeah.
Did he get fired in Philly?
I think it was just kind of a parting of the ways.
Was it? I can't.
Didn't he have his son stuff happen late in his career at Philadelphia?
I thought that was in KC.
With the drunken son?
No.
That was a KC deal.
No, didn't his son die or? Hold on, I'm gonna look up before I start.
There's something about that. Boy, he's had a rough go of it with the boys.
Yeah. So we largely have the same guys. Phil Jackson was my other one as well. I mean, but. Where does Gregg Popovich fit in on that? I used to, what's hard for me, Jamie, is Gregg Popovich has become such a raving politics guy that it's diminished my view of him, where that's all he wants to talk about, and it's not about the basketball as much. But at one point, I viewed Gregg Popovich as a top 3 NBA coach all time. Is he still there? Because he's had some really bad teams on the other side of the great runs that he had. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to view, or for me personally, to judge Gregg Popovich.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.